distributed yet.
I've seen the pyramids of Giza, and I have encountered the technology of the past, and I have seen the technology of the future.
The West, it's a hero's journey where I'm going off into the material world and I'm conquering and I'm discovering and everything. The Eastern journey, it's an inner journey.
I think peace is the purpose of business.
There's going to be a lot of fire because here are our startups in the shark zone. To pitch and win an investment deal of $100,000.
And then now for our winners. The first one is Agrona!
Around the world, different communities in different cultural contexts.
To do that, then you need new habits, and that's difficult.
You are always looking at the bigger picture.
And there's also people who analyze this. We're in Taiwan.
When you know more about your clients, you can better manage risks.
Welcome back, everyone, to Vested Summit 2021, the investment edition. We're ready to kick off our next panel, which is an investment success story for aleUp. As always, remember that wherever you're tuning in from, leave your comments and your questions in the comments section. Our speakers are really happy to take any questions from the audience. So get involved, interact. This is live, so this is your chance to get involved. In this panel, we have Loay Shawarby, angel investor at aleUp. We also have Omar Sakr, founder and CEO of Nawa Scientific, Yasmeen Khamis, CEO and co-founder of Doodle Factory. And to moderate this panel, we have Vested Summit Speaker Relations Manager, Mohamed Alborno. So take it away, Mohamed.
Thank you so much, Melody. And welcome everyone to this new talk with an amazing speakers. We have Loay Shawarby here. I'll just briefly introduce everyone from our panelists, and then we can dig right into it. So Loay is a principal at ElGameya, attorneys at law. He's leading a team of 12 lawyers practicing in the areas of startup structuring, governance, pre-growth, growth venture, entrepreneurship, technology. Loay also is an investor, a solo, and also as a member of the Cairo and Alexandria Angel Networks. Loay has an LLM in International Comparative Law from Georgetown Law Center, Washington, DC, and an LLB from Cairo Faculty of Law. And such a pleasure to have you with us, Loay.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure being here with Vested.
Thank you. And of course, we do have Yasmeen Khamis, and Yasmeen is the CEO and co-founder of Doodle Factory, and one of the most inspiring stories from our ecosystem. I look forward so much to welcoming her and to know more about her story. And we do have Dr. Omar Sakr. He's the founder and CEO of Nawa Scientific, Egypt's biggest private cloud lab in the fields of natural and biomedical sciences. He's a pharmacist by training and holds a PhD in pharmaceutical technology from University of Geneva and an MBA from Harvard Business School. So without further ado, welcome, guys. Such a pleasure to have you with us, Omar, Yasmeen, and Loay again. Loay, let me ask you, how did you decide to invest in these two amazing startups?
Well, it's in a way a no-brainer. I met with Dr. One by one. First it was Dr. Omar Shukri Sakr, and then he was doing something that was really unique. No one else has done in Egypt before, and he had all the credentials, behind him. He's a PhD from Geneva, as you mentioned. He also is doing an MBA which means, you know, you've got the science along with the business acumen, which is a rare quality to find among most, and you know, if usually in Egypt and sometimes even beyond it, if you find the geek, you don't find the business acumen, and if you find the business acumen, you don't find the geek. So here is, you know, you get two in one, and this is where you get Dr. Omar Shukri Saq. And also the idea, you know, of Nawa Scientific, it touches, you know, deeply here, because I'm also interested in science, even though that I'm a lawyer, but I'm also interested in science. And he was doing the first lab in Egypt, science lab in Egypt, you know, as compared to all other labs that are medical. So basically, you know, it's something that was really intriguing. And I don't think it took, you know, any time to just, you know, get convinced with the idea and invest in it. And you know, he proved us all very, very right. You know, he's been having a lot of ajoli right. And you know, yeah, for Yasmeen, she's actually, you know, a similar story. She has all the passion when it comes to social entrepreneurship, and her story is not about science as much as it is about social and society. And I could, you know, immediately see that she has something, you know, for people, and it touches also another really a sweet spot, you know, in me. So we went with her without a lot of thought. She has been doing an amazing job since then, and of course she can speak more to it, and also so for Dr. Ahmed.
Thank you. Yasmeen, for those who don't know Doodle Factory, can you please tell us what Doodle Factory does?
Of course. So basically what we do is we create designs and products using the original drawings of children in need. Children in need being children who need medical operations, who need to go to school, who don't live in a proper house, they need proper roofing, they need electricity in their houses. And this usually happens with a partnership with NGOs working in Egypt in these three fields with children. So we partner with the NGOs, we select a specific project, we visit the children, we hold an art session with them, we let them draw whatever it is that they want to draw. And from their drawings, we start to curate collections that we sell to the consumers. And a percentage of that goes back to the children themselves who drew the drawings.
That is amazing, really. Yes, and the model, of course, grabs the hearts of people, including myself. I'm a big fan of Doodle Factory. Yasmeen, how did you come up with the idea?
To be honest, I had just graduated from university. I was working at a couple of NGOs. I worked on a couple of projects. I worked with Ahmed, and I did some other stuff. At the time, I was working on a small project called Make-A-Wish, where you basically grant wishes for children with severe diseases. And I was just sitting there wondering, they're asking for like a doll or for like a teddy or something. And I'm like, these people don't have the money to do the operation. So I was just sitting there, and I looked to my friend, I'm like, is there nothing else that we can do? And at the time, I felt like the model of the NGO was a bit too slow for my own character. So I wanted to build something that was sustainable, that did not really depend on just donations and grants. That's fine, but I wanted to build a model where in Egypt you are able to buy or purchase a purposeful product that you really like the design of, but at the same time you do something that is impactful. And at the same time, this business in its entirety is sustainable. But the idea just came into my mind at the time when I was working with the children.
Yes, and definitely it's a mind-blowing thing to be able to capture all of these components: sustainable business, serving a cause, and profitable at the same time. So kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Omar, let me ask you, can you also introduce, for those who don't know Nawa Scientific, because it's a very unique idea, and as I said, it's the first Egyptian company that does what you do. So can you just introduce yourself, like what you do with Nawa Scientific?
Yeah, thank you, Mohamed, and thank you, Vested, for having me today. So basically, Nawa Scientific is working in the field of scientific analysis. So let me put it very easy for everyone. I guess everyone knows the medical analytical labs you can see in the street, Al-Mukhtabar, Al-Borg, Alpha, so on and so forth. Those guys are doing medical analysis. So take this away. Now, at Now Scientific, we are doing scientific research and analysis of everything that is not human being, be it soil, air, water, environment, chemicals, petrochemicals, cancer research, biology, genetics, anything you can search. So this field, this world is called scientific analysis. And before we existed, actually the whole ecosystem depended on government-based labs for doing these types of analysis. Of course, the queue lines were huge, and so many of the industries in Egypt depended almost like 90% on outsourcing samples to the US, to Europe, to Spain, to Italy, to Germany for analysis. Now, we had two big problems to address. First is the level of scientific output coming out of Egypt. To my surprise, and I guess to everyone's surprise, Egypt has more than 150,000 scientists. It's a huge number for any country.
Wow.
150,000 scientists.
Wow.
And this is only in schools of pharmacy, agriculture, and science. I'm not even mentioning engineering. So it's a huge number. Now, 150,000. Where is the scientific output coming from those guys? Do we have genetic problem limiting our IQ stuff? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The problem was the availability of high-tech research facilities. No high-tech research facilities, no high scientific output. As simple as that. So this is how Now Scientific was born. We said, okay, let's build this one central huge mega lab with all the cutting edge equipment in there. And then to attain sustainability and growth, we connected this to an online platform where you basically, all you need is to take out your smartphone, go to our platform and say, okay, guys, I need to analyze caffeine in my coffee, pesticides in my food. I'm a cancer biologist. I have some cell lines I want to check, cytotoxicity assays, drug, be it whatever you want. You place the order online. Then the courier comes to you, collect the samples, bring them to us. We do the work for you, send your results back online. So we literally democratize scientific research for everyone. Now, wherever you're placed, you can do amazing level of research. This is one aspect. For industries, also, now we revolutionized the idea of having an in-house lab. Now we tell industries, you do not need to have an in-house lab because our services are extremely quick, very convenient, and it makes full business sense to slash the fixed cost of having expensive machines, costly technicians, maintenance, spare parts, and you just pay as you go. So, alhamdulillah, I've been in the market for 6 years now. We already expanded to Jordan, growing to Saudi and Nigeria next year.
Wow, it's amazing that you're able also to provide opportunities for those 150,000 scientists, like to work in their field. So you have a huge potential for growth. And yesterday we were hearing about how Egypt, how Silicon Valley startups are using Egyptian developers, and now it's amazing to hear that our scientists are also being used into different domains and in different industries. Yasmeen, I would like to ask you this question, which is, what is something that at the beginning of your journey, you would, if you would do it again, you would want to know, like something that if you knew from the beginning would make your life easier having started your company?
I think at the very beginning, if I had some legal and more legal and more financial literacy, I would have reached a better place, I think. A lot of startups, I think, just jump into the idea, which is fine also for startups, but to really build a business, it's very important to have these cornerstones from the beginning. And I think if someone or if some program had taught me this right at the beginning, I would have benefited from that, of course.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you for sharing. And Loay, are you still with? Can you hear me? Are you still? Yes. Loay, are you here? Anyway.
Yes, I hear you. Yes,
Oh,
I
okay,
hear you.
Loay.
It's just the network is not super, so I just put the picture out.
Perfect. Loay, you get pitched a lot. And so what advice would you give to startups and founders who are pitching you when they're pitching you or pitching other investors?
Yeah, I think pitching. They should just pitch something that is real. Something that really also that they represent as well, and also if they, of course, they can and at the same time qualify whatever that they are pitching, because this helps any angel investor to make a better decision, and also if they can pitch to a whole team rather than one person, and also show the exposure of the founders, and what they would like to take this going forward. It ought to represent something that is real, and they need to feel comfortable within it. You just get this vibes from different people that they're capable of doing something. That's what we ask, and at the same time you cannot
Guys, cutting off. Okay, let me jump into Omar. How do you feel now after 6 years of starting Noah Scientific, and in terms of raising finance, how comfortable are you in raising the next round, in terms of what is it different now 6 years from now in terms of raising finance than raising it when you started?
Okay. In fact, raising funds for Now Scientific is a little bit more challenging, probably to other sectors, because I'm coming. Now Scientific falls in the fields of life science and biotech. We have zero investors specialized in this field. So I have only to compete within sector agnostic investors. While, let's say, if I'm doing fintech, agri-tech, edtech, and other sorts of startups, there is specific VCs and specific funding bodies for those guys. Being this said, I had to fundraise from out of Egypt, mostly. In the beginning, it was harder, of course. Now it's getting not easier. It's always stressful, but at least we have a solid foundation and solid growth to show to our investors. In the beginning, I was just telling this story to someone this morning. I had to pitch 82 times for only 5 people to say okay, and 77 people said no, and not even a simple no. I got harsh no's, like هتضيع فلوس الناس اللي معاك, like you're wasting people's money. You know the famous song of Kulthum. Someone told me علم ايه اللي انت جاي تقول عليه, so just mocking my idea. So it was really harsh. It was really harsh. Now I'm not getting these types of responses, but I'm getting responses like, we love what you're doing, but we cannot invest in biotech because it's out of our mandate. So this is it's a regional problem, unfortunately, and I'm mostly raising from Europe and the US as we speak.
Yasmeen, what were the major milestones in your journey, especially when you were raising investments? Like what were the celebrations or major milestones that you can highlight on your journey? I know there's a lot, and I know that you've been asked these questions a lot, but I would like to know more about that.
I think for me, the major milestones was like 5 months ago, we hit almost impacting more than 5,000 children.
Wow.
I think for me that was a big thank you very much. We also shifted our product line into fashion in late 2019, right before Corona. We started doing our fashion line, which I think was a major hit for the brand. I think these are the top two for the last 2 years.
That's amazing. Congratulations once more. How did the Alex Angels, Yasmeen, fit in? Like, how much support were they able to provide you? Beside, of course, the financing, like what other ways that they were able to support Doodle Factory?
Of course, I've had the support, the legal support. I've had a lot of help. That's why I mentioned the legal part at the beginning, because I think a lot of startups really struggle with that. At the beginning, it took me like 7-8 months just to register the company. But now with this kind of support, you have like a backbone. When you're signing the contracts, you're doing everything. The legal part for me was now is much easier.
Right. And Omar, same question. Like, what support were you able to get from Alex Angels on your startup journey, beside the financing part, of course?
Of course. Let me take this opportunity to highlight the importance of timing for angel investment. In fact, Alex Angels came to Nawat twice, so they doubled down. They invested first back in 2018. And last year in 2020, during the COVID, I guess this was one of the hardest years for anyone to fundraise. Everyone was so cautious about their budget. Everyone putting money back into his own startup portfolio to help them navigate the pandemic. And for us, we also took a great hit. Probably people say, okay, you're doing analysis, you must have thrived during Corona. This is not actually the case. We're not doing medical analysis. So we took a very strong hit. And here came the beauty of the angel investment. So they invested in 2020 where we needed most. And this was absolutely beautiful. I mean, God bless them. They came when we needed it most. So regardless of the amount itself, the faith and the trust they put in the team, it helped everyone. Morale came back to the top. Like, we're having people believing in us, strong in our back. So the timing was absolutely amazing. Of course, beside the money, they gave us what we call a smart money. So Alex Angels have a huge diversified portfolio of investors. We had, of course, legal support from Loay and his friends. We had financial support in terms of how to build a Series A financial model, something that can really help you to raise millions of dollars. So they came at a very sensitive part where we were moving from seed stage into Series A stage. So many things have to be done by book, and they helped us getting those fine details in position. Also, we had help with discussions about the expansion. So several of those angels are corporate people, senior executives at their position. So it's lovely to hold the phone and call someone and tell them, how do you think about this decision? Should we go to this market? How is this industry doing? It's lovely to have this type of discussions.
For sure. Loay, how do you manage the communication with your founders, especially when it comes to what they want to do, their plans? Like, is there a process for managing the communications with the startups? Perhaps we can also reflect on Doodle Factory and Nawa Scientific in terms of how do you manage the communication with them, with major decisions, with where they are in life as a startup or even as a founders.
Yeah, actually, at Alex Angels, when we do any investment, someone represents the angel network as well on the board or on as a board member or as advisory with the startup. So they basically do a lot of hand holding, when needed, and they also collect some information to make sure as well to report back to the angels who have put money and trusted the startup. And many times as well, when things start to evolve and the founders get on their own, they know their ins and outs. we just count on them, to reach out back, to say that this is where we still need, some support, or we still need some sounding board of ideas. Is this a good direction? Or many times actually they come back with option, with things that they want to do, but they have, and they have developed different options, and maybe they have also, went the whole 9 yards, talked to everyone in town and beyond as well, and they just need some confirmation, or they just need some blessings, or stuff like this. So it really depends on the stage. So at the beginning, more hand holding and more advice, a piece of wisdom from outside, if you will. But soon enough it becomes wisdom coming the other way around. If things are evolving, they know that if maybe 5-10 investors, 20, he already talked to 82. So they have more, so they and also sometimes the markets open for them, so maybe they are focused in a certain area. They find that they are taking a small pivot here or there because the market is really crying for something that is adjacent to what they're doing. Just remember as well that many times, you set out to do something, but actually the value becomes shows itself more in an adjacent area. So they need to be right there to try to pick up, what the market is calling and do that. So that's mostly what we do, and we continue to provide support, whenever we're called upon. Sometimes on the legal side from my side, and mostly, of course, on the business, and growth and investment side from the entire network.
Thank you, Loay. I just want to remind our audience that you can ask questions to our amazing panelists here, and we can receive them on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, which we stream to. We have a couple of minutes left, so stay put, guys. My question is to Omar: how do you manage your internal dialogue with, as a founder, like your emotional state with challenges that you face, with successes that you face? How do you manage this? Is there something that you tell yourself? Is there like a practice where you you're aware of that you'd like to share with us in terms of managing this internal dialogue while doing your startup?
Do you mean by internal dialogue myself and the team, or like how do I do?
No, I mean
like internally.
Yeah, like internally. Yeah. Yes,
of course. So as you can tell, this life of founding a startup is like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're extremely excited to the roof, and then you're somewhere in the seventh ground. Yes, it takes a toll on you, and I learned the hard way to control my emotions, not to get so excited and not to get so sad or so depressed, because I learned that whenever you go up, you will go down. Whenever you go down, you will go up. That's life. What I would love to share is 3 tips. First, when I started Nawa, I was working 6 days per week, 18 hours per day, for 4.5 years exactly. It hurt my family. It hurt my connection to my kids, and I had to go to see a therapist. I'm proud to say this, to share the knowledge and inspire people. We need to talk to psychologists from time to time. It is something good. There is no shame of going to therapist. And I discovered that I was diagnosed with work alcoholism. Work alcoholism is not a metaphor. It is a disease. So I realized that on weekends, my blood pressure goes high because I keep thinking at work and I want to jump back and I want to get this weekend done. His very first tip of advice was, please take another day off. So now I used to take 2 days off instead of working 6 days. Second tip was to do more sports. So I'm again back to sports. I used to be an athletic at one part of my life. I get back to sports. This helped so much to decrease my blood pressure. And you need, this is my last step, I found this very important. You need to plug in the vacation time in your calendar the same way you plug in meetings. So if you wait for vacant time to get a vacation, this will never, I'm telling you this. So you need early on to say, I'm taking vacation from the 10th to the 15th. So no one please come to this part. You need to plug in your family time with your kids, time with your wife into your calendar, because we as business people get so attached and so used to using our calendars. So those 3 tips really helped me navigate the stress roller coaster of this life.
Thank you, Omar. And just the last question to Yasmeen, which like advice that now they work for you and you would like to share them with others in terms of starting your company and raising investment?
I think definitely in terms of investment, like Dr. Loay said, be true, yani, because you're in this business, like Omar was saying, every day. The least you can be is be true about it and really love what you're doing, because other than that, it's yani, there's a lot of suffering that will come from having your own business. But definitely, I would definitely also give the advice for people who want to do their own startup to really prioritize and organize their time, because 5-6 years down the line, it's not just that our families are hurt, we ourselves are also hurt from putting all this time and effort and really not weighing what should or how do I say this, what should go where. Yani, this is very important, and for how much time, and taking things yani on your chest كده so much. I think definitely yani 5 years down the line, I would give the same advice Omar is giving. And for the investment part, please have those very important pillars. Your legal is important, your financials are very important, your operations are very important, your sales are very important. Tracking all of this, making sure you have your data correct, is very important to begin with. It's fine for the first year. More than that, it becomes problematic.
Thank you. And we are done. Loay, do you have any parting remarks that you'd like to add before we end the panel?
Not much. Thank you so much, actually, Borno, for running this panel. Great, always, as always, and always nice to be in the company of Dr. Omar and Ms. Yasmeen, and really great, inspiring entrepreneurs. We get inspired by them, and there's so much that we learn from them as well. And the larger community, they are definitely more humble than than their achievements. And which is for everyone as well, to note. But it takes stamina, perseverance, and also staying the course. And now also we learned about also being good to yourself, for the medium and long term, rather than just being only startup oriented. So basically, you need to keep to do a 360-degree also of your life and family. So it's a lot. I think a lot of great tips and from life experience, from real experience that have been shared. And I also shared my experiences, that really, if you're presenting something, it should be something that you feel comfortable doing, and that falls within your competency, because you provide the right vibes when it comes as well to fundraising and of course, and all the things that happen thereafter. And I think that's I have nothing more to say at this point. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It has been such a pleasure having you, and thank you guys for joining us on this panel, and I'll give it back to Melody.
Thank you, Mohamed. Thank you, everyone. It was so great to hear about the solutions that you've developed for real world problems, and the creativity with which you developed them. And thank you also for your vulnerability in sharing the issues that you can have as startup founders. This is what Conscious Tech is all about, right? It's about conscious founders that know how to balance work and life and still have an impact. So thank you so much. We'll be back in just about 5 minutes with a panel discussion on VCs versus syndicated funds. So tune back in 5 minutes on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks.